Hello and welcome to another video, and today we're going to be saying goodbye to an old friend, and that's Mac OS X. Something that has been with us for 20 plus years. And I say 20 plus because if you include betas and its origins and next step and all the other stuff, it's been around a very long time, really. Although the replacement, which was very quietly named Mac OS 11 Big Sur, which don't get me started. I know it's California locations, but I like the cats better. I prefer the cat names. I'm sure they just ran out of cats, because when are you going to start saying, yeah, Blonde Macro Tabby, OS X 25, oh, okay, that's not going to work out. So anyway, this is just kind of like a look back at the OS X's that I used over the years. The first one I had was the 10.2, which was Jaguar, and that came on a iMac, a G4 iMac, the ones that we used to call the lamp, which had the swivel screen. Very well designed computer. I love that little swivel. You can pull it down right in front of you, you can push it back, you can show somebody something. Something that I kind of wish they would have kept around, but at the same time I kind of understand why they didn't. The new iMacs are very simple, very thin, as close to just being a flat piece of glass as you can get and still be a computer. So yeah, we had that one. We upgraded that one all the way up to 10.4, which was Tiger, going from Jaguar to Panther to Tiger, around which time we ended up getting a Core 2 Duo iMac, which was still the white ones, but it was the first time that they had gone to an Intel processor. And I remember using that. We upgraded that one all the way up to 10.6, which was Snow Leopard. And I will forever say that Snow Leopard is by far my favorite version of OS X. It's really the polished version of the early style. And then going from there was a lot of ones I just didn't care for. We did end up with an i7 iMac, the Silverback style, and we took that one through when it had Lion and Mountain Lion, and then when you started getting into the names. And yeah, that's when you get into the stuff that I work with on a daily basis. So I work as an IT guy for a school district, and it's all Mac for now. And we had stuff. Once in a while I come across a Mountain Lion computer, but not very often. But starting with when they started changing it over to names of locations, with Yosemite, which was 1010. I thought they were going to come out with 11 right there. I never expected it to be 10 version 10. Because what is that? OS XX? Yeah, you had Yosemite, and then after that you had El Capitan, which was okay. And then Sierra, which was 10.12, was very stable, a very good version. Because you have certain versions that don't work out so great. And a big example of that is High Sierra, 10.13. That version of macOS was the crossing point where the Apple file system, the APFS, was optional, but could be used. It was the transition, and it wrecked everything. I can't tell you how many devices I've had to fix with the strangest of problems, and they always have High Sierra. Upgrading to Mojave always fixes it. Mojave was a very good, stable one, but Catalina perfected it. Catalina really was a great outlook, although I didn't fully agree with them dropping 32-bit support, but I understand they're looking for the future, which, to be honest, that was kind of pointless, because now, as we're getting past Catalina, and we're going into Big Sur and OS 11, there's talks, well, there's not even talks, their new plan is to ditch Intel, and to use Apple Silicon processor, basically the A chips from the iPads and iPhones and all that. They're going to be making those for the Macs, which, it's going to be bad from a software standpoint, because all of macOS software that is currently existing is not going to be usable entirely. Now, they do say they're going to have a Rosetta, I believe is what it's called, the translation where when you're installing a program, it's supposed to take the older Intel x86 programs and it's supposed to translate it into something that the ARM-based Apple Silicon chips can understand. When they went from PowerPC to Intel, they had it where every time you launched the program, it translated it on the fly, which caused slowdown and didn't work so great. But now they're saying when you're installing it, it's going to write the code in a way that the new chips can understand. We'll see how that goes. But this is where things get interesting, because you're going to end up into a realm where iOS and macOS are running the same hardware. And they've already announced that every iOS app, anything that is on the iPhone, iPad, will run on day one of the first ARM-based Mac computer. Which, that kind of blows my mind, because right now they were trying to incorporate taking iOS stuff and putting it into macOS. It worked for some apps, didn't work for others. But just looking at previews of Big Sur, you really get the idea that they're pushing this very hard. And the interface looks very much like an iPad OS or an iOS device. And you start to notice little things, how the spacing between menu options has increased, and sliders that are a little big for using a mouse but would be perfect for using a finger, and icons that are perfectly finger-sized, which are just like they are on an iPad. You start to wonder, are they planning a touchscreen-based MacBook and iMac? I say yes. I know for years they said it wasn't going to happen. Steve Jobs said it didn't make sense to him because your arm would get tired doing this all day. But, I've used touchscreen PCs and, both desktops and laptops. And I find that, I'm not using touchscreen all the time. I'm mostly using mouse and keyboard, except when there's like, I just need to tap this one real quick, so I'll just poke it and I'll go back to mouse and keyboard. Or I'll close an app, or, I'll hit the sound thing and adjust the sound real quick. Quick interactions. It's the ability to go back and forward. It makes sense. Now, if they do it, I could imagine they're going to have the touch version and the non-touch version and the price difference. You know how they are. There's going to be price increase. Although you would hope, because they're not buying Intel processors, that you wouldn't have to worry about as much overhead. Maybe prices will go down? Doubt that one. I seriously doubt that one. As soon as I said it, no, that's not going to happen. But, at first I was very against it. I said, well, I'll just never buy another Apple product again, I've already kind of don't really, I've switched to Android. And I still have my Mac Mini from 2014, and I have my gaming PC, and, other than the stuff that I use at work, I don't have any need to upgrade my Mac. But now I'm thinking, I was like, well, maybe when they go to ARM, maybe it'll be different enough where it's going to actually be worth buying something. Because they're saying that, being that you could make one program that can go from your iPad to your Mac, they're going to be 100% compatible with each other, and the fact that they can fine-tune the way things work, it's possible that you could have a much lower-powered device and have it just blow away everything they have now. So, I don't know. It's going to be a very interesting one in the next 2 years, because they said by 2 years they'll have it all figured out, and everything will be Apple-based, and no more Intel. So, we'll see. I know there is some ARM-based PC stuff. Not very much, because ARM Windows 10, very minimal what it can do. But we'll see. And until we see, I'll see you next time.